Hey everyone, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela Web Dev. So in this video we will dive into a super important topic for the developers, including the front-end developers and also the back-end developers. That is nothing but environment variables. So whenever you are deploying an applications and whenever you are trying to code it or something like that, so you will be coming across this environment variables. What is this environment variable? And all those things. So in this video we will try to understand where these environment variables will be, how we can create the environment variables, and how we can use these environment variables. So how the Node.js receives these environment variables and all those things we'll try to see. So whether you are working in Bash, Node.js or even in C, understanding how environment variables work is key to manage your applications effectively. By the end of this video, you will know what environment variables are, how they differ from the regular variables, and how they are passed to the child process, and all those things we'll try to see. Let's jump into this one. So fine. So first of all, let's define the environment variables. So when you start a new process, so here this one shell is a new process, right? So let's try to close these all the things, okay? And here this is our code, right? Let's try to clear it out, and we will go to the current. So these are all the functions which we are having it. So now whenever you start a new process, so this one is a shell process. So like running a Node.js app or anything command in your terminal, it is called a child process. So here, so whenever you are trying to run a node process means, so here the node is a child process for the shell. That is the main thing. Okay. So if you try to check it means process.pid will be like this, and process.ppid means the process ID of the child. If you try to check it means .exit, and here if you try to do the echo $, so 4680 is the parent process ID. So that means node is a child process for the shell programming. So here the G shell. So fine, this is called as the child process. Now the child process, whenever you start the child process will inherit two things from its parent. That is nothing but this node will inherit two things from its parent. So what is that one? A list of arguments. Okay, the first one is the list of arguments and also a complete set of environment variables. So what is the difference between arguments? Are the explicit inputs that you are passing when you run a command. So for example, let's say that when you are running this one node playground.js file, so this is the file which you are trying to run it. So whenever you are running this one, and if you try to run these all the things, so these are all node is the application, and these are all comes the arguments. So these all arguments will be passed to the Node.js application. Okay. Now environment variables on the other hand are a set of key value pairs that are automatically passed to the child process, providing configuration or context anything. So think of them as the global settings that your program can access. So here we press enter. So here we are able to see these all the arguments which you are able to see. So not only these arguments passing through the Node.js, whatever the environment variables present inside the shell, those are also passed to the Node.js. Okay. For example, so now let's say that I will clear it up. So how you can create a regular variable? So let's say that foo is equal to bar. So this one is a regular variable. So normally I have shown you in our shell variable in a shell program also. If you try to check it on our shell program, let me open this one. So here in our shell program, so scripts.sh file. So here I have mentioned my var is equal to 100. So this one is a normal variable. Okay. So this one is a normal variable, regular variable. Now if I try to access this regular variable, foo, echo $foo. If I try it, so we are able to get it bar. So this is the thing. So if I open a new terminal, okay, if I open a new terminal, and if I try to do echo $foo, so gone, it's not working. Okay, so that means, so this one, if you open it, it's gone. So to make it as an environment variable, you need to use the export command. So let's open. So here, so now this is regular variable. So to make it environment, we need to type export foo. So here, what you need to do, instead of doing this one, export foo is equal to bar. Okay, foo is equal to bar. Now when you press enter, this variable, if I try to do echo $foo, so this variable will be passed to any child process, whatever the process I spawn it from this shell. So that is the main thing. To see all the environment variables in your shell, you need to type just env. That's it. So you will be able to see all the environments, whatever the things I am having. The term program is Apple terminal, and the shell I am using is the G shell. So here you will be able to see the user, who is the user I am using it, and here you will be able to see the path which we have discussed about this. The path also we have able to see, and the present working directory. This one will be changing according to the current directory I am staying in. So here you'll be able to see the home / user / Leela, and so like this you'll be able to see. At the last you are able to see who is equal to bar. So this is the environment variable. So these all the things will be passed to the child process. So that means if I start a Node.js node program inside this one, means it's a child process of this shell, right? These all environment variables will be passed to the node program also. So that is the main thing. So now you are able to see long, right? So like home path, we are able to see it, and we are able to see that who is equal to bar also we are able to see it. So because why this one is why this one is coming, because we exported it, we have used that export keyword, right? So that's why. So but if I create as a regular variable something like my var is equal to testing, so just if I export this one, so if I try to do echo dollar, clear it up, echo dollar my var, if I try to use it, so it's coming, but if I try to check it with an env variable, so that one will not be available. Okay, so it won't show up. Why? Because only exported variables are only environment variables. Now you got a clear understanding about this variable, right? So if you want to make a regular variable environment variable, means we need to use the export command. And another thing which you need to understand is, so whatever the environment variables you are having, so whenever you spawn a process, child process, whatever the environment variables is there, it will be passed to the child process also. Automatically it will be passed. So there is no need to send it separately. So that's it. So exporting a variable doesn't make it available to other shells. So here I have used foo is equal to bar, right? So if I try to use it, echo dollar foo, if I try to use it, so we are able to get it bar. So if I try to go to a new terminal and if I try to use this echo dollar foo, so we are not able to see this output. Why? Because exporting only means this variable is passed to child process of the current shell, not across all the shells in your system. So what I need to do it. So now let's see how environment variables work in the Node.js. So when you spawn a child process from a Node app, all the environment variables from the parent process are passed along by default. In Node, you can access them using the process.env. So let's try to check it quickly. So this is our Node.js, right? So here is our Node.js playground.js file. So this is our thing. I will try to comment out this one all. So just I want to check these all things. So we know about the process ID and all those things. We have seen this one all. So let me remove this one also. So here if you try to check it, process.env. So all the environment variables and all those things will be passed to here. So if I try to show you the output for this one, let's go to our terminal, and this is our terminal which will start it. Clear it off. So if I try to run the playground.js file, if I run it, here you will be able to see all the environment variables which has been passed it. So here you will be able to see it, and also here you are able to see the foo bar also. Okay, so now we are able to see the foo bar also. So let's try to check that whether I can able to access it or not. So here I can able to see .foo. I try to use it, and if you run this node program again, so here I'm able to access the bar value. So that means any environment variables from the parent process are available in the node app without defining them in the code. So that is the main thing. So now a common pattern is checking the event process.event number. So here if you want it, what you can do it is, so I will try to show. So normally the in the deployment process and all those things, we will be using the mode is equal production, mode is equal to development, right? It should be available in environment variables. So we will be using it like this. So setting the environment variables in the shell config. So let's try to see it. So now, right now, whatever the foo bar I am able to access it, if I try to access this one in our another thing, playground.js file, so I am unable to get. This one is getting it as an undefined. Why? Because so this foo bar environment variable will be existing only in this shell. So to make it existing in all the shells persistent means, so what you need to do is, as usual, what you expected is correct. So we need to mention it in the config file. So that is nothing but for our G shell, it is a zshrc file. So let's try to open the G config file. zshrc, if you are working with the bash means you can open the bash rc file. So let me open this G config. So we have this Z config, right? So let me open this Z config. So now here, so we can make this environment variable. So as export. So now I want to mention another variable. So what I can do here, so I can export mode. So normally the environment variables and all those things will be mentioned as capital letters. Okay, so that is a way, that is a good convention. So but the Unix environment or anything doesn't bother about whether you have mentioned it in capital letters or in Pascal case or something like that. So this all depends on the way of thinking. So now as a good convention, so we need to mention it in the environment variables. so that we can able to identify these are environment variables. So here mode is equal to, I can mention it as in production. Okay, so this is one variable. So now I can save it, this one, so automatically it will be source. So here if I want to check that one, means echo dollar mode. Let's try to check it. So we are able to get the production mode. Okay, so now zconfig means automatically it will add it and automatically it will source it. So that is the thing. So fine. So now, so what I want to do, let's see that how environment variables, so these type of environment variables, how these are passed to the child process in the node. So we have seen it, right? I will use the child process module. So let's try to see here. Okay, so now let's get it started. So now let's go to our Node.js code. So here, if you want to access this mode, means so just you can use this mode. So now whatever the shell programming you are having, so here I can run this node playground.js file. So here you can go to the production, and not only in this one. So if you access the same thing here, oh sorry, this one should be source, right? So let's try to close this terminal and open this one. Let's try to open. So here if I try to run this node, so now again this one is production. So now across all the platforms we can able to access this one. So this is fine. So how we can able to access this env program in the C language? In the C language also is one and the same only. So if you go to our terminal and in the playground.cs file, so what I will be trying to do is, in order to get the environment variable, so we need to include the header standard library. So here I can do stdlib.h. So if you want to get these environment variables, means so what you can do here, so here I can do printf. So I can do something like I will do something like printf mode getenv of mode. So you can get that one. So here I will print out this one. So mode is getenv of mode. So I want to send them. So now what I will be trying to do here, let's try to run this one in this one. So now here gcc playground.c file -o playground. So I am executing this one. So I compiled it. Now I want to run the playground. Let's try to run the playground. I am passing arguments. So if you try to see it here, the mode is production. So from where this one is getting passed? So from through the environment variables in the shell program. So now we are able to get the mode also here. So now let's try to execute the C program through the Node.js. So here the C program or this executable file is the child process for the shell. So you will be able to see 5600 is the parent process ID, and if you try to check this shell program also, it's also 5600. But now what I would be trying to do is I will run this C program through the Node.js process. So let's try to run this one. So here I am going into this. Let's go to a playground.js file, and here I will be spawning this one. Okay, playground.js file. So this is the playground, and I am passing here. So by default, if you don't pass, automatically whatever the env files that are available, environment variables that are available in the Node.js, automatically it will be passed to the Node.js, C program. So if you try to run this same code, so here node playground.js file, and also it should. So now you'll be able to see that this is the production. We are able to see the output for this one. Okay. So why? Because we are not passing anything, right? So if I try to pass here, hey, what is this happening? Okay, we are not showing the output, right? Let's go into this one, and here I will be showing this one. Yeah. Now let's try to see the output for this one. Let's clear it off, and here I will be running like this. See here, the mode is production. So now the things are getting passed through the Node.js. So now the C programming is receiving the environment variables through the Node.js. So now if I want to overcome this one, so I can overcome it. For example, let's say that in our code, so if you want to pass the env variables, so here you can pass it something like this. So here env is equal to process dot, if you don't pass anything, so this is coming as like this. So you can pass the environment variables like this. Now if you try to execute the same code, so the same thing it will work without any problem. But if I want to change the thing, something like I want to send some particular object, means so here I can send mode as development. Okay, development, I am sending it as a development. Now the C program or anything, it will receive it as a development. If I try to run the same code here, see the mode is development. So in the C program we are getting it mode as development, whereas in the Node.js it is in the production. Why? Because this environment variable is coming through the shell program, but for the C program we are sending it through the Node.js, and Node.js I am sending the mode as development. So this is how you will be able to execute this one. So like this you can able to do it. So that is the thing. So now that is all about the environment variables and all those things. So hope you got understanding a clear idea about this one. So how we can pass through the Node.js variable and how we are able to access in the C program and how we are running the C program through the Node.js as a say child process, so that we can pass our customization of env properties and all those things, and how in the Node.js we can able to access this one. We can also set our custom properties in the Node.js also. We'll try to see it in our upcoming videos and all those things. Hope you understood about this environment variables. So if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.